My name is Dave Hansen. I'm the chairman for the MIT Enterprise Forum of Texas here in Houston. On behalf of the MIT Enterprise Forum, the Rice Entrepreneurship, Rice Alliance, and Rice Business School, I'd like to welcome you all here tonight to what I think you're going to find is an extremely interesting program. We have Bill Higgs, who's the founder of one of the founders of Mustang Engineering. He's going to be talking about creating and growing Mustang Engineering to become a billion-dollar company with a very unique company culture that allowed them to do the impossible and to be very successful. They were one of the fastest growing companies here in Houston. Before we get started in the program, I'd like to do three things. First of all, many of you are not familiar with the MIT Enterprise Forum, so I'd like to spend a little bit of time talking about what it is what we do and what we are. Then I'd like to bring up George Andrews, who's the Associate Dean of Degree Programs here at Rice, talking about Rice University a little bit. We really appreciate Rice working with us on this program and making it available to the Houston community. And the third thing I'd like to do is to thank our event sponsors, and we'll be bringing up Michele McNichols, who's the CEO of Mustang Wood Group, and she'll be talking a little bit about being a sponsor for the program and what Mustang Wood Group is all about. All right, let's see, let me go. MIT Enterprise Forum. We are one of 21 worldwide chapters that's associated with MIT and MIT Technology Review magazine. Our mission is to put on great and inspiring programs like the one here tonight on technology, entrepreneurship, and economics. And we do this with flagship programs like the one here tonight. We have new venture clinics for startup companies to help them get prepared, and go out and present for money. And the other thing we do is we have networking socials. Now, we're associated with MIT, but you do not need to be an MIT alum to be part of our organization, to come to our programs, or to be on our committees planning these programs out. And I'm a good example. I didn't go to MIT. I went to Cal Berkeley, and I'm a Berkeley radical, and they let me be the chairman for the MIT Enterprise Forum. Yep. Let me talk to you a little bit about some of the things we have coming up. On March 24th, we have a networking social. We're in the process of planning out exactly where that's going to be. We usually get about 100 people coming out for that. In April, we're working with the Houston Technology Center, and we're going to have a program with Hank Moore talking about Houston legends. And those will be entrepreneurs and businessmen that contribute to make Houston where it is on the map today. He's written 2 books on this, and he's an extremely entertaining speaker. I think that you're going to enjoy that. In May, we have a program on the future of fresh water. Fresh water around the world depends on where you are in the world. Right now, Texas is doing okay. California is in trouble. There are a lot of other parts in the world that are in trouble. And taking a look at what's going on and what some of the technologies are for addressing water shortages, I think it's going to be a very interesting program. And then in September, we have a program on innovations in education. And we're doing this with Channel 8 TV. This will be our second TV program that we've done with them. We've got some world-renowned speakers who will be talking about various aspects and new things that are going on in education. The one thing that you'll probably notice here pretty soon is we're working on a new website to make it mobile responsive. I didn't realize this until fairly recently, that over 50% of all internet searches are done on mobile devices. So if your web page is not mobile responsive, it shows up nicely on an iPhone or iPad, it makes it hard for people to really see what you're all about. So we're in the process of changing that and make it so it shows up in the iPhone properly. It'll probably take us a couple of months, but look for that coming. The other thing that I wanted to kind of point out is that we've had a lot of great programs, and we've tried to videotape as many of the programs as we could. They are archived on our website, and you can go there and look at them. The idea is if you weren't able to attend the program, you can still see what went on. Some of my favorite programs were with Rod Canyon. Russ Capper was interviewing Rod. We just had some astronauts here talking about detecting, deflecting asteroids, which I thought was really interesting. And the other program that I would really highlight is our first TV program on social entrepreneurship. Very inspiring. Sponsors. I can't say thank you enough to our sponsors and also our event sponsors here tonight. Sponsors is what makes it possible for us to put on some of these programs. Being an all-volunteer organization, it takes money to make things happen and put on good programs. The MIT name allows you to get some great speakers, but it still requires money to make things happen. So I'd like to say thank you to MRE, Westlake, Houston Business Journal, Comcast, BBVA Compass, Wells Fargo, Farnsworth and Von Berg Law Firm, the Business Maker Radio Show. Russ helps us out in a lot of our programs. Brandon, advertising. Focus Point, who's also helping us with our advertising. And the Houston Patent Office of Dave McEwing. So thank you to all those sponsors. And like I said, if you don't see your name up here, your company name up here, think about becoming a sponsor for the MIT Enterprise Forum. We're a great asset to the Houston community. It's a great organization to be associated with, and we would certainly appreciate your sponsorship. All right. And for our event sponsors tonight, we have three. Wood Mustang Group is a major sponsor for the event tonight. Fab 4, which I'll talk a little bit about tomorrow. That's one of Bill Higgs's son's companies. And then Cielo, which is also Bill Higgs' daughter to start up a fashion. Yeah. All right. Let me bring George Andrews up here. And Jenny, I'll need some help in changing the next presentation. George, as I mentioned before, is Associate Dean of the degree programs in the Rice Business School. So, George? Yep.
I have to apologize to our students when I get back. I always tell them it's because they're millennials that they don't fill in from the front. But I can tell that that is not the case. It's just that it's like being in church, I guess. We fill in from the back. So we're glad Rice University, the Jones School, and the Entrepreneur Initiative for Entrepreneurial Initiatives at Rice, mouthful, is delighted to be hosting this event. We think that these kind of events are incredibly important, and to be able to hear from somebody who grew a business to $1 billion business from nothing is certainly something that's incredibly exciting. As part of that, I, early on in my career, learned that you never show anybody else's research and talk about it. However, all of our faculty, entrepreneurial faculty, are teaching tonight, and so I get to show 7 quick slides to talk about entrepreneurship at Rice. So if you'll bear with me, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this first one, as we're all from Houston. When we take this on the road, we have to sometimes talk about Houston and how entrepreneurial Houston is, that there's this bootstrap mentality that makes us a great place to really think about starting businesses. And often in the country, people are unaware of that. So we spent some time talking about that. Hopefully this is a group that's already pre-sold on that. David Lebron, when he became president, well, actually shortly thereafter, in 2012, took on one of his major initiatives to really set up entrepreneurship here at Rice. It is currently, if not the top, it's certainly one of the top and fastest growing electives that students take on. Probably no surprise to you that more and more students find themselves interested in thinking about entrepreneurship, not only starting businesses, but being entrepreneurial at work, and what does that look like? And so he set up as a major initiative that we would become a player in this realm. So the vision, I didn't realize this was a step process, is that, I'm just going to get through it, 3 parts. One is that we would think about the courses we offer. And so the courses that we offer, taking this conceptual knowledge students learn about marketing, finance, accounting, and how to apply it as an entrepreneur. So learning that in the classroom. The next thing would be the mindset that they have, because not only do we want students to think about starting businesses, but how to be entrepreneurial at work. What does that look like to take these concepts and use them at work? And finally is the experiential learning. So giving them the opportunity now to take this and go out into the marketplace and actually practice these skills before they exit the university. So co-curriculars, one thing we want here is to bring a lot of the things we do at Rice together under this new initiative. We have a lot going on. Many of you are probably familiar with the Rice Business Plan Competition, one of the major preeminent competitions in the country. Owl Spark, we have just a lot of things that happen, but they're kind of spread across the university. So the hope here is that we're going to consolidate this all under one roof. And then that's a picture of Yael Hoxberg. We went and said we've got to find someone, a preeminent individual to come and really lead this initiative. Yael came from Kellogg, Cornell. She has a long pedigree, although she's very young, in entrepreneurship. She just won the Kauffman grant, $1,500,000 they gave her basically because of her research in entrepreneurship. And so she was just awarded that grant. She was ranked 40 under 40 faculty in the country. So she's somebody we're incredibly proud of, and she's done an amazing job already, and she's going to be leading this initiative. And finally, just to talk about the hub again, we haven't built this yet, but we're going to be looking for a space here on campus to bring this all together. Like I said, we've got the classes, the experiential learning, all the faculty, and then a lot of the business plan competition, the Owl Spark. How can we bring that all together in an incubation type space where people can get together and share ideas? And that's the next initiative here at the Rice University. So I wanted to get quickly through that because more important than that is to hear from our speaker tonight. So thank you all for being here. We're delighted to be a host of the event.
Thank you, George. Next, I'd like to bring up Michele McNichols. She's been in the oil field for 28 years. She holds a degree from Texas A&M in chemical engineering as a registered practicing engineer here in the state of Texas. She's worked at Amoco and also ABB Randalls. She joined Mustang in 2001, and she's held many positions in Mustang since doing that. One notable is she was the project manager for BP Thunder Horse, the world's largest semi-submersible production facility. Michele was named Chief Executive Officer of the Wood Group Mustang in February of 2015, so that's fairly recently, and oversees more than 7,000 Mustangers performing project management, engineering, and production in the United States, Latin America, Canada, the United Kingdom, Norway, Malaysia, Angola, Saudi Arabia, and then I think it goes on. Please welcome Michele McNichols and thank her for being a sponsor tonight.
Excellent. Thank you, Dave. Well, it is my pleasure and honor to be able to start kicking off this event tonight. I am very proud to work at Wood Group Mustang and the history that Bill's going to talk about and what we've built over the last 29 years. So it's a great honor to be here. As Dave said, my name is Michele McNichol, and I am a new CEO. I just finished my first year last week. Amazing. It feels like it went by like that. Still standing. But I have been with the organization for 15 years. As Dave said, I joined in 2001, so it wasn't the beginning, but I got there as quickly as I could. And I love the history of this company and what the foundation that it's built on. You guys are going to hear a lot about that, so I'm not going to steal Bill's thunder. But it is an exciting place. As we said, we're now a company of over 7,000 people, 31 offices in 15 countries. It is a far step from 3 Men and a Dream in the summer of 1987. We have achieved amazing things built on a firm foundation of an organization, which Bill's going to talk about. So for those who aren't familiar with Wood Grip Mustang, let me just share a little bit about who we are. We are primarily an engineering service provider. We do engineering and design. We don't construct, but we do that across the globe. We're primarily in the energy sector, but I'm happy to announce that we recently expanded into the manufacturing industry through a recent acquisition in the UK in automation. So we're excited to see where that's going to take us as well. We have 4 main service lines that we work on. So offshore, which is where the company was founded, and Bill's going to talk about that as well. Everything from fixed platforms to the deepest water anywhere around the world. If it's got a record holder, we probably touched it at some phase of the offshore project. We also have our onshore production facilities and pipelines group. And that's kind of everything in the midstream sector, from the wellhead, gas compression, gas processing, onto transmission pipelines, connector pipelines, and ultimately product pipelines, everything in the midstream sector. Then we have our downstream business unit, which also has industrial. So downstream takes it up from where we leave off the pipeline. So that's our refineries, chemical plants. And in the industrial space, we build the structures around some manufacturing facilities, as well as do construction management for large industrial projects. So it's kind of a very broad, diverse coverage that we have everywhere around the world. Each of those business units is global. We follow our customers to the basins where we can help them bring value to their projects. Because at the end of the day, we're a projects-based organization. That's what we deliver, is projects, primarily in the energy sector. The one thing I'm really proud to announce is we talked about Bill and Paul built it to be a billion-dollar business. Well, we are a repeat billion-dollar business. So for each of the last 5 years consecutively, we have created over $1 billion of revenue, including last year in the energy sector, where there was a tremendous amount of contraction, something we are incredibly proud of, and a legacy that we want to continue. We never want to go back. So while a lot has changed in our business, a lot remains exactly the same. And one of the fundamentals of that is the company culture. And that's what you guys are here to listen to, about how to build culture. But it is a key differentiator in our business. It has been from the very beginning. And as I stand here in the 29th year of our organization, it remains alive and well and a key differentiator in our organization. So I'm really proud of that. So we've gone through all this change, but we need to really look at how we are still maintaining the culture, because it's had to change and adapt over time. Certainly as we've grown to 31 offices, we're not all in one building. So how do you get that culture to permeate out? How do you make the culture that works in Houston work in 15 countries around the world? Well, you got to adapt and really figure out how to make those fundamental important things translate into those cultures that you're working with. But stand here today to say it can be done. We've done it quite successfully. I am so happy when people go to visit our offices, whether it's in China or Malaysia, and they come back and say, it's a Mustang office. It's got that culture. And Bill's going to talk a lot about that. So we're really happy to say that. Again, you just got to change it and adapt it, but you can make a culture, whether it's 50 people working on one floor of a building or 10,000 working all over the world. You can have a single company culture and permeate that throughout your organization. So tonight, Bill's going to talk about those steps of how to build a culture. And I really want you guys to listen to it, because those fundamentals that they used back in 1987 and all the way through today, those steps remain the same. The look and feel is a little different. Adaptations have been made. I'm hoping we're a little more proficient, perhaps, after 29 years of practice. But the steps remain the same, because at the end of the day, culture is all about 3 things. Culture is all about the passion. It's about the people, and it's about the art of communication. And so with that, I'm going to turn it back over